Well, good afternoon. And that's decided not to work now for some reason. I'll be right there. Huh. Well, that is strange. I am here. I'm in the background here trying to figure out why this isn't switching now. Unbelievable. Okay. Maybe bear with me. Why is that not working? Well, let's do it this way. Is it this one? There we go. For some reason, my keyboard just stopped working. So tested it all today. So that's the way live streams go. So good to be here, everybody. Thank you for joining. We'll struggle through this tech issue. But let me just go back up to top here and say, James, thanks for joining early. Appreciate it. Happy Friday, Michael. Good to see you. David, good to see you. Yeah, it's good to have you here for sure. So hodgepodge. Hi, everyone. Our friend Glenn. Good to see you again, Glenn. And for those that may notice, there's a slightly different view of me this time. So we'll work through that. Joaquin, welcome. Tony, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Roger and James Carter from the San Antonio area. Let's see. We're working through. There's Charlie from across the pond. Thank you, Charlie, for joining. Appreciate it. And Ron, good to have you all here. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Just give me a thumbs up or sounds okay if you can hear me fine in the stream. I'm usually confident that I'm doing okay, but this issue just popped up, so I may have to just pop out for a quick second and fix one thing. But hi Todd. So let's see, just catching up. Jim, good afternoon from Oregon. Oh, Tony, thank you. Sounds good. So good. I appreciate it. Oops. Dave Walter. I meant to get Nick. Good to see you, Nick. Audio is great. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it. Good to have you here. And yeah, this I'll do a little bit of a show and tell here if I can. I may have to manually do things a little bit here, but the overview is a bit different. I'll do an overhead here in a quick second. Well, let's do that now, and we'll show. Okay, how am I going to do that? I got to reach my buttons, which is a bit of a pain point. Well, that's not working either. Did not get this all the way down. So overhead is not working. Oh, that's tailstock. Wrong camera. All right. So let me get myself. I can't get myself out of the picture. Yes, I can. There we go. Okay. So the Stream Deck issues just as we get set up here. So I put this little desktop up here between the lathe. You may notice the lathe color is different. We will zoom out as far as we can. So I'm standing in front on this little platform locked to my bed on my new my new robust American Beauty. I just switched it out for the Powermatic the other day. I got the Powermatic down at SWAT, and so thanks to Brent and Todd at Robust, they were very helpful in getting me set up and brought it here actually to the house. So I am just working on. I know, I corrected myself. So what Shelley came in and said I got the Powermatic. I did correct myself. I said Robust after that. So thank you, Shelley. All right, there we go. This camera is online. I've got a little portable camera here. We're going to show a little bit of what we got here. I'm just making sure I'm okay with it. Sorry, just yeah. So it's been basically a teardown of the shop to get everything in here. So let me go to this shot. So here's the portable camera. I'll try and be as steady as I can. I'll back up a little bit, and so there's the new lathe in the shop. So I had to tear all this stuff down back here, and all the computer and all the ATEM and everything. And all the monitors came down. Most of the cameras came down. So it was a couple of days rebuilding all that. So that's why my tech is not 100% yet, because I haven't quite debugged everything. If we sweep across the garage, the Powermatic's now sitting over there, ready to be hauled out the door. So for anybody that's interested, please do so, if you will. We'll look at something on the screen here if I can get it up. Tech issues, yeah. We're doing okay. I'm just I lost that. There we go. Powermatic 25 lathe for sale. Light to normal use. Great working order. All parts and accessories. 3,200 or best offer. So that's what I put up at SWAT in the booth when I was using this guy in the booth. And so SWAT was a lot of fun working with this thing. I've raised it up quite a bit. So it's now probably 2 inches above my elbow height, which is kind of where I want it. And so what that means in this shot, if I just go back to putting me in the overlay, means you can see the tailstock and the headstock in the frame now. So that's something new. Let me change my background here. Put that back up. So that is something kind of different for what I've been doing in these sort of live sessions or studio online wood turning, whether it's live streaming or Zoom sessions or whatever, is having this. And I can't. How do I do? I don't know how to do anything without my Stream Deck running. So let me do something kind of. I can't even do that. Can I? I'm trying to see how I can fix this tech issue. And I know exactly what I need to do, but I need to do it in the office. So I'm trying to find my mouse. There we go. Let's get back to the comments for a second, and I'll show you. Let's just show you what's overhead, and we'll just looking at the comments. Ron's got no video or no sound, so Ron, I think you got some problems on your end, as Dave confirms. So local problem. So hopefully, got it now. Good. Yeah. So let me just go through a few slides. Can I do that even? I got to do that manually now. Hang on. Everything manually. So, all right. So there's how to get a hold of me. I can't get rid of myself other than to do this. I'm doing everything in the software switch. So that's how to get a hold of me. Coming up tomorrow, and Cindy, if you want to go ahead and drop a link in the chat. Cindy's doing an IRD on live online wood turning of her ornate finial box. So this will be exciting. I'll be on co-hosting as well. And but check that out. Sign up today. You can sign up tomorrow, but it's better if you do it today, then you won't miss the email that you're going to get with the ticket and the login links and all that stuff. So Go to cindydrozda.com and find your ticket there. So it's tomorrow, Saturday the 9th. The follow-up session is on the 28th. So look for that as well. That'll be fun. Cindy also does, oops, I didn't get that yet. Also does live streaming on Thursdays opposite to my Friday. So every 2 weeks, Thursday typically. She may do a live stream or a live sharing session. And then there's Cindy's stuff. Where is it? There we go. cindydrozda.com/html/IRD. You can get to it from her front page as well. So not a problem there. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate you doing that. So let's see. Okay, next. Just a few announcements here. This other one, Cindy kind of mentioned already a little bit. Rocky Mountain Woodturner Symposium in Loveland, Colorado on September 15th to the 17th. So next week, we'll be there the next Friday. So we're going to have a lot of fun. That should be a good symposium. So look forward to that. Coming up in October, about less than 3 weeks, maybe a month away, we have vendor showcase. So this vendor showcase is 6 vendors: myself, Joe Fleming from Airbrushing Wood, Steve Wisher from TurningWood.com, Cindy Drozda from CindyDrozda.com, Lyle Jameson from his LyleJameson.com. And we had a 6th, which is John Jordan. So we may get a special visit by Vicky. So that's something to look forward to. This fall, this October 7th and 8th, Saturday and Sunday from 4 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 3:30 to 5, 3 to 5:30 my time, Central time. And so figure it out for Pacific or wherever you're at. Make it craft fairs. Make it fall crafts. So the idea is that we have the fall time to kind of make those crafts that we want to make for the holiday season, whether it's ornaments, bottle stoppers, kitchen utensils for giveaway or holiday gifts, pumpkin box for Halloween, snowmans for Christmas, scoops for gift, candlesticks for Thanksgiving table, holiday tree, all those kind of things. So these are not an entire list, but these are some of the things I've done in the past. So, and I know others within the vendor showcase have as well. So we look forward to sharing that with you. We're going to have obviously tool displays and showcase telling about any specials we might have. If we do, what tools we carry. We'll have some Q&A with all of us. We'll have some mini demos. So bring the popcorn, come and hang out and have fun. So that registration link is, I don't know if Cindy, if you've got that registration link, that would be great too. I don't have a way to post that. I'm having a devil of a time. So, all right, I think that's it for showing those guys. I'm going to go to overhead, and I want to take a look at what some of the things here on the table that I got at SWAT as gifts or thereabouts. So, first of all, the Tolley family, who are part of the Brazos Club and Alamo Club, and they are pretty instrumental in the operations at SWAT. The SWAT committee has an operations team, and the Tolleys are there using the forklift and loading things in and out and generally helping set up. Along with everybody on the SWAT committee and the volunteers, make it such a terrific symposium that it's just way too much fun. I'm going to try to see if I can do this flying key. If I can get, not that one, and can I set B? Not set B. Run to B. I can get to there. Oh, I just reset. Okay, well we'll go down here. So I screwed my my programming up, but oh well. I just want to get down the bottom so at least you can see me and talk. Anyway, so these two tops I got from Johnny Tolley, and they're made out of resin. And so he's cast this resin and then stuck a dowel through it and turned the resin down. He explained the whole process, but they're really well, surprising how well they spin. Not really surprising, but they do spin very well because the resin is very heavy weighted, so you get a lot of weight, a lot of centrifugal force pulling this guy around, and they stay pretty steady. So thank you, Johnny. One for me, one for Shelley. So that was very nice. Last year at SWAT, Linda Ferber had made this ornament, and she actually gave it to Mike Hunter. And at last year's SWAT, Mike Hunter, with Linda's blessing, gave the ornament to Shelley. It was just the shell, and then just recently I finally turned a top and a finial for it. So call it a collaboration with myself and Linda and perhaps Mike as well as a previous owner. So now we have a little ornament, so that's very pretty. So thank you, Linda. Thank you, Mike. And this one, Tony, thank you. This is a little necklace that Tony made for my wife, Shelley. Very nice piece of burl with some resin thrown through it. Just a very pretty color, purple. So, and so that was a very nice piece. So thank you, Tony, for doing that. I'm just going to check my focus here. Bear with me as I mouse around. So that looks pretty good. So she wore it all weekend and she really enjoys it. So thanks again, Tony. Appreciate it very much. The last one here is a very funny one. James Duxbury, I'd seen his demo there at SWAT probably 12, 15 years ago, and ran into him there, and I just said, hey, hi, and by the way, I just still remember your demo from years ago. So, and he gave me this little, he gave me a stool sample. So there it is. That's Jim Duxbury's stool samples, no refills. If you can see inside there, it's a little stool. So a little three-legged stool. So that was such a funny thing. I just had to laugh, and thank you, Jim, very much for doing that. So so a few of the gifts at SWAT worked out fairly well. The other thing I'd say just about SWAT is if you get a chance, please go. It's a great symposium. It's so friendly and easy to get around. I think they did a great job this year. They moved the instant gallery to the one of the rooms and opened up the big McClellan Hall, not McClellan. I can't remember the name of the hall, and split that into 3 demo rooms, which I think worked better. Maybe not quite as good for foot traffic through the trade show area, but still, I think for participants and demonstrators, it worked a treat. So, and I got to say, the lunches this year were really actually quite good. I was very happy with that. So, yeah, they feed you there. So nice. Met a lot of friends, and as usual, catching up with folks, always fun. So let me just check the. So there's the Cindy's dropped the link for the Rocky Mountain Symposium. That's good, and I think here she did it again for Vendor Showcase. So I think in YouTube that's a clickable link. It might be in Facebook. I'm not sure. And there's the YouTube link, and in StreamYard it should be there as well. So thank you very much. Yeah, this is we've been watching this as well. Weather forecast for Loveland next week: 75 to 80 degrees, mostly sunny, not likely to rain. Perfect weather. Last time we were there, 2019, it was like super hot, and so we're looking forward to a little cooler weather. It's actually supposed to cool down here next week, so which is right in time for us to leave up north. So yeah, love the pendant. So Tony, glad she likes it. Yeah, she loves it. So thanks very much. I'll look over the top of that. So good stuff. So what's next? What did we actually? Oh, it's back. Okay, good. My buttons are back. Maybe. Yeah. That one I screwed up, so I got to fix that one. let's see that. Yeah, that's back. So let me get back to this. We are going to answer a few customer questions. I thought, since I knew my shop was going to be a bit of a disaster, I don't know if I'll be able to turn a whole lot. I actually, I've turned just to see the spindle height, turned a little bit on the lathe here, but I haven't turned anything project-wise on this lathe yet. So it's been a busy week and a bit trying to get things reorganized, and the shop is a bit of a disaster. So we're getting ready to go to another show. So it's kind of one of those things. So I thought I gathered a bunch of questions from emails I received from customers, and I'd like if you got any questions in the chat about any of the tools, whether I sell it or not, or any process or material or any other kind of questions, we can go through those. So I've got a few pre-canned ones that we're going to talk through. So I hope you'll indulge me and stay with me and look at sharing these answers. And if you've got opinions or thoughts or answers as well, please chime in and let's all work together to answer some questions. So let's see. I'm trying to find out where they're at. Oh, they're over here. So let's turn that off for now. That banner. And just as a quick reminder, Cindy's tomorrow, September 9th, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Get your tickets now. And I got to scroll. There we go. So Q&A. So I've got some questions here. I'm going to go through them in the order I've got them listed here and stuff, and we'll talk about them. So please comment if you want. So first one, Simon asked, "Does Woodturning Tool Store?" And maybe I'll return up big here. Does Woodturning Tool Store ship to the UK? Yes, we certainly do. So we do ship actually pretty much all over the sort of e-commerce world. I say that there are a few countries we don't ship to. Quite a number of countries that are on the USPS don't deliver sort of places. But UK, all the European countries, the Western European countries, and the Canada, of course, Australia, New Zealand. Got a good customer in the Philippines. I just ordered a bit ago, so we ship there. Some of these places will ship, first class mail. So go U.S. Postal Service first class mail out, and then transition to your local mail delivery service. Excuse me. Bear with me a second. If it's a country like Philippines, and I've worked with that customer before, I'll ship via DHL. DHL will get it there directly to your door within a few days. And so what you'll find on the website is a flat rate shipping fee. And so if the actual cost of my shipping the product to you is less, we'll refund the difference. If it's more, I eat that cost. So I'm trying to, make my life easy, I guess, in that regard. And maybe someday I'll get to calculated shipping, but it is a major, major, I guess, struggle, pain point for a lot of e-commerce stores. Yeah, we do ship absolutely UK. And so, Simon, hopefully it's in your hands by now. Let's see, I'm just checking. Let's see. Okay, so the Phoenician Artisan. What length of handle do you recommend for the robust box scraper? It's a rectangular tang. What size of hole do you recommend? And I don't have one right here with me, but I do have the negative rake scraper, which is very similar in size. And I'll go to overhead here. Let me mix myself small again and get rid of the good question. So get rid of that. So, oh, that's still up. Let me take that one down. So here is the robust negative rake scraper, and it is in my, it's hard to read, 5/8 handle adapter. And so they will fit in there. The way I load them up into this set screw system, I'm answering the second part of the question first. How does a rectangular tang fit in a tool adapter? So depending on this dimension in the diameter across the diagonal of the rectangle, this one fits in a 5/8 hole. It's a bit nice and loose. I put my set screws on the long width, not the narrow width. So in other words, the set screws will go down on that face, not on that face. So the reason why is because I'll have so much of that set screw going into the empty space, there may not be enough catching in the metal. So I try and get the closest set to the set screw as I can, and lock that down. So this adapter actually has the wrong size set screw here, but this one is the right one. So it's just flush with the top, and so that works like that. For handle length, and you can use typically. I'm going to move these items off here, these treasures, just so I don't drop them. Typically, a handle length of 4 to 5 times the overhang of the tool over the tool rest. So is sufficient. And I've got, let's see. All right. So I've got my handle system, which is modular. So if I'm going over the end of the tool rest just by a little bit, then I don't need much more of a handle than this 8-inch handle. So, and so we can put that up like that. If I'm going to hang over a little bit more, let me back out a little bit more, then I can take this, I got a tool in here, take that and add on either a 4-inch section or an 8-inch section. So now I've got probably the proper handle length that I can kind of tuck up under my arm like that, and hang over, maybe 5-6 inches. So this is a 16-inch, maybe 20-inch handle, 18. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. So I can probably get about 4 inches of overhang with that handle. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Was it Phoenician artist? And so it's nice to have a handle that you can adapt to your needs. So the size of hole, yeah, I think we talked a little bit about that. It depends on the thing. The one thing I will say you want to do with this tool, if you're using a handle that uses aluminum components like this, let me get that down, zoom back in a little bit, then you'll want to kind of ease these edges, right? So this robust comes eased a little bit. They're nice and soft. They're not really harsh and square like up here. So these edges, if they're not, just take a file to them or take them to the grinder. Just ease the edge over so they don't gall up the inside of your aluminum tube if that's what you're using. So yeah, great question. So let me put that down. And I haven't even unpacked my tools yet from, I actually gave a demo on Monday. So that's the other reason I'm kind of in a bit of a state in the shop, if you will. Okay, Phil asked, on my LEO drives, they don't have a threaded insert to be used with a drawbar. Can a threaded insert be installed? So yes, absolutely. So here's LEO drive. This is a very old one where I haven't got the threaded insert in it. This is a new one where we've made them with threads, so we don't need a threaded insert. And do I have an old one with the threaded insert? Don't think I do offhand. I don't know where That's all right. I don't need one. So we've transitioned to making most of our own now, and with the new design, the threads are integrated into the milling of the actual tool. If you have one of the old ones you may have gotten from Brian McAvoy and Gord Langer years ago, this is what I did when I got mine, and this is what made me really intrigued with this tool, is I got a threaded insert kit, which is, it took me a while to figure out, and it is this thing. So this Easy Lock is the actual insert that I use. And if I go over here, I can scroll a little bit and I'll hover over it. So in it, you get the drill bit. This kit gives you the parts and pieces you need to do it all in one kit. So it's a drill bit. You got the tap there. This thing at the top is a little device to screw the threaded insert. The threaded inserts have a slot in the top to grab onto to thread them into the hole. So you drill the hole, you tap the hole, and then you thread in the threaded insert. The red stuff around the threaded inserts here is a anaerobic glue. It's like a thread lock. And so once it's in the threads, it's going to glue it up pretty good. So this kit is the Easy Lock thread repair kit, thin wall, 1/4 20 with the 3/8. The part number here is Easy-310-4. So Phil, I've already answered Phil in email, but for anybody out there that has these kind of things, these thread locks work really well, and that allows you to use the Elio drive with a drawbar. And see, if I look down below, I think, so here we go. I've got, let me switch this up back to me again. And we'll remove that from the stream. I'm going to jump down to this question from Randy that asks, what is the drawbar used for? I can't quite tell from the pictures, and so far haven't found anything online which explains its use. So good question. So let me put this one aside for a second, and we'll look at this one. The reason this one's silver, this was the prototype of the new manufacturing cycle. So so this drawbar. So first of all, let me explain the functionality. First of all, this is a Morse taper device, fits in the headstock, and has 3 pins. The 2 outer pins are adjustable, so you can adjust them if you've got a sloping surface on your piece of wood. Instead of being flat, it's sloped. You can kind of hit them all there with this kind of setup where you've got 3 pins like that. So you can adjust them all the way, however deep you need to use them. The center pin is also adjustable with a set screw here. And I think I just got my magnet set up. Wrong one. So I'm trying to see if I've got the right tools here. Don't think I do. It's all right. I don't really need to show that, but you undo that set screw, and this pin is about inch and a bit long, inch and 7/8 thereabouts. So you can extend it quite a ways. So that's the first use, and you'd use that between centers. You'd have the tailstock come up, and we just back that out. Tailstock point come up and pinch between centers. That way you use it that way. If you want to use this as a faceplate, you can take these screws out. And then I would back this off a little bit. Use these 3 screw holes here, and I'll zoom back in a little bit. 1, 2, and 3 as faceplate holes. And I've got an old one up here. There's an old one. So there I've got one where I've got 3 screws in those holes holding onto a piece of wood. So now this is a faceplate device, and so it can go into the headstock like that, but it's going to tend to fall out if I don't secure it somehow. I don't really want to use the tailstock in this mode because I want access to the face, hence the name faceplate. So we get ourselves A drawbar. A drawbar is nothing more than a threaded piece of rod with a couple of wing nuts on it. I put this cone on it just to center it up. So I don't know if I can, oops, don't know if I can show. I'll move my camera down. You'll see a bunch of tech stuff and we'll get past that. So here we go. So here's the hand wheel head of my lathe. So this is going to go through the headstock and show up here. And if I back this off quite a ways, just backing off the we can see it protrude through the so it goes through the headstock. Hasn't quite reached the other side yet. I'll just show that it kind of goes that way. Get all the way out. The plastic sleeve on there is really just to protect the inside of the headstock. So it's just about showing up there. Oh, I could probably, yeah, let me switch the other camera. That might show it. Wide shot, yeah. So there you can see the end of it there, right? So that's the threaded rod sticking through there. So that goes through the headstock and then secures to the threads on this guy. If we can get that started. So now this thing is connected, right? So that's the purpose of a drawbar. Tighten that onto the threaded rod and tighten the threaded rod up. And I may just turn this on wrong way. I'm just tightening up the screws. My threaded screw, my little knobs back here. Just using the lathe power to do that. There we go. So now my knobs are tight. I got two knobs back there to lock one against the other. So now there's no way that this can come out, right? No way that that is going to come out of the headstock. So now I'm free to use this device as a faceplate, even though it's got a Morse taper on it, without the tailstock in the way. And I can get onto the face of that guy. I can get the face of this guy. I'll just drop that down a little bit and work up here where I'm working with my skew or poking, make a design, whatever it is. So that's what I use it for. That's the dual purpose of the Elio drive and the drawbar. So I'm going to use the power of the lathe and just undo my drawbar, and that's done. Drawbar is out. So that's all it is. We've got two. Let me take this back over here a little bit. We got a threaded rod. So size it. I sell these in 18-inch lengths, which fits 90% of the lathes out there. I think maybe 99. But you may have to cut this rod down. So for me, actually, I need to cut this down probably a good amount. On my Powermatic, this worked just fine. But I now have, I tighten this up to where I think it should be. I now have probably 4 inches or 3 inches of threaded rod sticking out my tailstock back here, which is kind of bothersome if you're putting your hand back there. So I'd lop this off a couple inches. Oops, sorry about there. So, and the plastic is just a sheath of plastic to protect the inside. The cone is just a wooden cone. It's just, I turn these and I sell those with the kit. And then the two knobs, why are they two knobs? So when you're trying to back out, if you only had a single knob, then how do you grab on to the threaded knob or the threaded rod with just one wing knob? You can't do it. So you need two backed up to each other to really make that work. When you're tightening, you've got the outer knob is able to tighten and turn the rod instead of spinning on the rod. When you're loosening, you got the inner one to turn the rod the other way. So that's why there's two knobs. So anyway, good question about the drawbar. This always sits at the side of my lathe over there. And away you go. And this guy is, there we go. It wasn't too tight. So yeah, every LEO drive comes with those holes. The 2.5-inch one, that's slightly bigger, now has 6 holes for faceplate use. And put that back there. Oh yeah, okay. So let me just jump back up. Hopefully that helped Randy, helped everybody else. Let me just check the comments. David Perez, I don't understand why you would use a drawbar with an LEO drive. Would you ever use it without tailstock support? I think it just showed. There you go. I think you just answered my last question when using the LEO drive as a faceplate. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly why the dual purpose for the product. So to be honest, I don't use it a whole lot in faceplate mode, but when I'm doing small, brooches like the one Tony made, that would be ideal for mounting on an LEO drive as a faceplate. So imagine that as a chunk of wood, just like the other one. In fact, I'll grab it. So if you don't have a little faceplate, you got an LEO drive, you can use it for this. Do your design, part it off, and make a little jam block and clean up the backside. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, good questions there for Randy and David. And get back to questions. Karen's asked, what size and type of screws would you use, and how would you best grind the tip for different LEO drive spur screws? So good question. So I use these cap head screws. These came out of that one up there, but we'll put them in here. So cap head screws are these ones. I'll zoom in a little bit. And yeah, still in focus. So they got a hex wrench or an Allen head on it, and I know I have that one. So a hex key would fit in there. You're able to tighten them up. So if this was on the, let me put them in first. And this is the question why somebody's asking this. And I get this, I think even Cindy's modified hers to use different type screws. So when your LEO drive's in there, it's pretty close quarters with the headstock, depending on your lathe. This distance here may be quite shallow. It usually is quite shallow on a Powermatic, but I still get by with it. I'll stick it in from this angle. I can get that in there. It's hard when it's not really holding anything. And then I'll rotate the hand wheel, and let me just shove that in there so it sticks. Rotate the hand wheel and tighten them up this way. Take it back, stick it in there, rotate it around that way. So I use the force of the lathe to help me drive the screw in. If you wanted to use a hex head screw like this and use a wrench, I don't know if I got a wrench that fits this size, but I do. Then this is not quite the proper screw, but same idea. You would get a bolt, a hex head bolt that had threads all the way. I just couldn't find one in the shop. It's just a bit of a disaster in here. Threads all the way up, and then sharpen that on a grinder. You just take it to a grinder or put it in, your headstock with a what's the word, chuck, whatever it might be, and either file that down or grind it down or find some way to grind the points on it. Put that kind of a point that's similar to the one you have, and then that is going to thread on into that same screw hole. And you can have different lengths than I supply if you wanted. This on a 2-inch gets awfully close to these threads, so that's probably not going to work very well here. but on a 2.5 or a 3-inch, that would be fine. But that's going to almost interfere with the threads up here. Oops, my head's right there, so I'll do it over there. See how close it is to the threads there? So that's something you could do, make your own with hex head, and then you can use, let me just show. Then you can use a wrench on it, if that's easier for you. Not really easier for me, so that's the wrong place for that. How would I best grind the tip? Yeah, so I would probably do it on a grinder platform myself, but your mileage might vary. I don't have a jig for sharpening them that's available, so yeah, it's just a matter of methods of how you can do it. You can get them milled, take them to a mill shop, and they could probably mill them a point on them for you. And yeah, there you go. So, good question. Next question. George asked, do the Carter & Son tools fit the Jimmy Clues quick release? Is the shaft the same? Yes, they do. I don't have a Jimmy Clues adapter here. I do have a set screw one, but I don't have a quick release one out in the shop here. So, or do I? No, I do. Is this one? I do have one. It's a 3/8. So if I had a 3/8 tool, and do I have one? Like I said, I haven't unpacked my tools yet, so that's half. That's all right. I think so. So I've got a 3/8 tool here, and this is a Carter & Son double-ended tool. So I don't know if this is going to work. I don't think I drilled this far enough, but it does fit, and that will not come out. So if you had a handle that was drilled deep enough for this tool, then it would work. But yeah, it certainly is the same size. Jimmy Clues adapters are slightly, like at least the cam ones, are slightly oversized, and then the cam action will tighten down and clamp on a 3/8 tool. So any Carter & Son tool will work, because one thing Carter & Son tools do on their fully shafted or full round stock length tools is the diameter throughout the whole tool is the same. So from tip to end to the shank is the same. So on any other tool, that is not necessarily the case. The Thompson tools and robust tools, they leave the working end of the tool at the diameter that they got the material in after some slight finishing, but they'll mill down the 2.5-inch shank area to fit nominal sized handles. So Carter & Son's the only one where the rounded tools fit the whole length. So for example, even this skew, which is 1/2 inch, is 1/2 inch all the way. So so that's something to be aware of. One thing I do like about the Carter & Son tools is that. Let's see. Tom asked, I missed your session on the Proform, and I'm wondering if it's available on video rental. Yes. Let me show you here. It's not really a rental, Tom, but if you go to my website under Explore Woodturning, under live streams, this live stream and all the past ones, if I can get that to click. Why is that not clicking on live streams? There we go. Then you can see all the live streams here. So these ones are set to go on. And here's the past one. So I did a booth demo at SWAT. You can watch this right here, that kind of thing. So it'll play off. You're probably hearing that. So here's the SWAT lathe one. I had Neil Brand on as a guest. Talked about shear scraping. I turned a piece of wood to look like a bamboo, snap fitting box lids, vendor showcase live stream, measuring tools. I don't know what that one was. Tool rest and turning tools from Robust. Little Wonder cup tool. So it goes on and on. A small bowl. It's a handle. I'm not sure what that one was. They all have a little description. Prepare some logs for hollowing. And the Proform is down here, Elio Drive. A ways, there it is. Proform Flexi and Irons Toolgate. So this live stream you can watch. I show the Proform tool. I think I got one from last year here. Just scroll down quite a bit further, and you can find them. So all of my live streams are up there for free. The project demos, you go to video rentals, then you can see the project turn a pair of candlesticks for rent, turn a pumpkin box, oval box with your lid, etc. So that's the rental aspect. So yeah, good question. Let's see. Scrolling down. Randy, we did that one before. Melvin asked, where did you get teardrop scraper you're using in one of your demos? So the teardrop scrapers I sell. I guess I could go back to where I was. Mini, there we go. And go to shop, go to brands, Todd Raines Tools, easiest way to get there. So there's a couple of bundles of the bar and the teardrop scraper, the Elio drives, and then here's the teardrop scraper, the regular sized one, the large one, the square one, and the small hollowing one. So get them for me. They're T1 high speed steel, so they're sharpenable on a grinder and easy to maintain. And I've got a bunch of them. So yeah, take a look at those. Let's see. Bob asked, whoops, click on it. A buddy of mine mentioned that you either or do or may be about to start selling Axminster products. Any truth to that? Currently, no. Not true. I'd like to. I do have their chucks. I do like their chucks, so I'm working on it. I've had conversations with Axminster. But you guys could do me a favor and send me an email and say, hey, I'd like to shop at Woodturning Tool Store, and it'd be a great dealer for Axminster tools. So, yeah, that'd be good. Oh, that's a good idea, Michael. So for the screw on the Elio drive, chuck it up in your drill and grind the point. Yeah, you could try that. That might work. The hex head bolt head might prove to be a problem, but checking that in a drill. Let's see. Tom asked, do you have handles for your hook toolbar? Because I couldn't find any in your site. Oh, this is going back to my website. Okay, sorry, folks. I didn't mean it. Think there'd be this much shopping questions. So under shop, I guess under Todd Raines Tools, I think it's even here. So if we go down, yeah, we start to see the handle parts, the 8-inch tube, 4-inch tube, the coupler, and page 2, end cap, and then the 5 different size of adapters: 3/4 or 1/4, 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4, and then we get into the kits. So the kit includes what you see in the picture, plus the adapter of your choice and a hex wrench for free. So, and plus you get a bit of a deal on the adapters when you buy them as a kit. So 4-inch kit, 8-inch kit, 12, 16, 20, 24-inch kit. So it just might be easier to bundle everything and to get a handle that way. So, and the hook tool bar has, in fact, I think it's Let me go back to the first page. Don't know if I put it here. It's the same shank diameter as the half round bar. It's a 3/4 inch bar, but the shank is milled down to 5/8. So it will fit my 5/8 adapter. It will fit the Jimmy Clues 5/8 adapter. It will fit most 5/8 inch handles. So the hook toolbar is made to fit most handles. Great question. Back over here. Bob asks, can you comment on why you are moving to the robust American Beauty? I think I'm going to do the same, but like you, I have a perfectly usable lathe. Woodfast in my case, and Bob's case. Is the AB that good? So, yeah, so that's a good question. Is it that good? I think so. So, being a new user, I somewhat hesitate with the question, answering the question, but here's some thoughts. Number one, I can now get the lathe up to a height that I want. I'm at the max height of the American Beauty legs that extend up, but it gets this spindle up to about 1.5 to 2 inches above the Powermatic, where I even had the Powermatic on. Is that still on it? Did I turn that off? Even have the Powermatic on. Let me see if I can show you. Up on two 2x4s that laid flat, so it's, and then feet on top of that. So let me switch to this guy again, and let me just take that comment down. I just want to show you over here. If we look down, here's the, let me get that board out of the way. I got to cut that up for Rocky Mountain Symposium. So if we look on the floor there, I've got, oh, I just lost my battery. But hopefully you saw it. I had two 2x4s down at the bottom there, stacked up, and then embedded in that two, oops, wrong button again. So it's 1.5 inches, 3 inches, plus another inch. Had 4 inches raised on that, and the Powermatic was still too low for me. So that's one thing. The other thing is this motor is much quieter. I can attest to that for sure. So if I turn this on, I'll turn it up to about 2,000 RPM. And this is, if I turn my Powermatic up to 2,000 RPM, that was about as loud as I wanted to get on a live demo with my microphone so close. So we can go full speed, 3,000 RPM, and it's a heck of a lot quieter than my Powermatic. Not that that's really important, but it's a noticeable thing that I noticed. The stainless steel bedways, to me, it's kind of a plus and a minus. It's a plus, I won't have any rust issues. It's a minus, I can't magnetize anything to it. I can't stick anything magnets to it. So that's kind of a wash for me. The speed control unit is portable, so I can move this around where I want it. It's got magnets on the back, so I can stick it where I need it. Didn't have that on the Powermatic. The Powermatic did have a digital readout of the RPMs. I don't have that here. I've got a little bit of a scale on the button here, so I can visually tell about where I'm at. I don't necessarily always need to know how fast, but for a live demo, a lot of people like to know. So that I'll miss. The other thing, I should show you on this one. So if we look at the headstock here, and I just raise this up a little bit, one of the things I do miss is my flat head on my headstock. So I've had to make this little platform here, and I've got this little bugger in the way. So I've just put a little dowel back here into that light stand post they have, and it's in there nice and tight. Drilled a hole in a piece of plywood like this, and stuck that on the dowel. made it long enough to bridge across here. This little clamp is holding up this monitor that's just above this little guy. So that's something else. I'm not, it's a compromise I'm making, but this I'll use for something else. I'm not quite sure yet. This was actually just a test piece. I drilled a hole in to make sure it fit. So that's my workaround for that right now. While we're over here, I'll just move this over. Oh, that's as far as that goes. Maybe I got to go out a little bit. So overhead, there's a little shaft or a spindle lock back here that works really well. It cuts power to the control, so I can't turn it on when the spindle's locked. As soon as I drop that down, I can turn the spindle on. Oops. And have to get used to the buttons. That's another thing. The headstock does slide. Oh, here's the big one. Do I have a way to show it? Maybe if this goes, I don't know, this is not going to go far enough. It might if I zoom out. It took me a while to get my lathe sort of set up. You can just barely see it. So I've got a couple of things on here. The tailstock swing away, so I can move this all the way down to the end, lock it down, and move my tailstock out of the way. So now I'm free and clear back here to hollow. I don't have to move that onto a bench or anything like that. And you can see I just clear my bench, so it took me a while to kind of figure out where to lay this out and stuff. So that's a big bonus. It's a great feature if you're going to get an American Beauty, which I'm a dealer for Robust now, so I have to get that on my website. It's a great convenience. So what else? I'm wondering what else. Other than that, I mean, it's a machine, right? It's got everything else. The warranties. This has got a 3 horsepower motor. My Powermatic had 2. Not that I think I don't know whether I'll need it, but I'm doing more bowl coring, so that certainly helps. Oops. Cindy said, yes, the Robust is better than the Woodfast. You'll love it. I haven't turned on a Woodfast. I know they've been around for ages. But could be. And see, so it's not just getting it high enough, it's also low enough for short people. Yes, that's true. So it drops down quite a bit. I think the range of vertical motion on this thing, or vertical adjustability, is probably at least maybe 10 to 12 inches. It's quite a ways, maybe even more than that. So it could be about a foot difference. So you can go from 50 inches down to 38, maybe. It's on the spec sheet for the Robust, so you can certainly check that out. Good questions. Let's see. Bob has asked the banjo. Yeah, so the banjo is that's a good point. The banjo tool post clamp is freaking awesome. I just pulled it out. So this little 2 clamp faces have a little bevel in there, and that sockets against the tool post and clamps on there very nicely. So very great design for a clamp post, rather than just a clamp handle screwing into the side of a post. And then the way the banjo clamps to the bed, and the tailstock clamps to the bed, and the headstock clamps to the bed, that's all very well done. I'll move these handles are in my way. So it's gonna fall. Yeah. Oh, didn't quite fall. All right. I know I'm babbling on here way over time, so we may do a couple more questions. Maybe one more. Ken asks, will the fill iron shear scraper replacement cutter fit the Todd Rains half-round toolbar? Yes, it will. I tried that when Ken asked, and oh, there it is. So here's the Phil Irons shear scraper. It's got this triangular head that is got a lock washer or a gives some tension to it, so you can actually rotate it to a clean edge. You take this screw all the way out and you put it in a half-round bar with my screw. It works just fine. So yes, it will work. The half-round bar is flat all the way along, and so you'll have no issues putting this on there. I've tried it and it works. So yeah, great question. So that, I keep saying so a lot, don't I? That I think is going to wrap it up. Yeah, so there, oh yeah, so there's a good thing. Yeah, Gordon, Robust has a longer warranty, 7-year, stem to stern. So yeah, great, great lathe. I'm looking forward to using it and getting on with it. So hopefully, well, it's going to take, we're off next week. I'm not going to be doing much next week. And then it'll be a couple of weeks before I actually get to turn on it again. So we shall see. The Powermatic's a great upgrade from the Woodfast. Okay, I'll take your word for it. And the Robust speed control goes down really low. And fewer pulleys. Yeah, 2 pulleys in on this one. So the speed does go really low. If I kind of zoom in here and turn it on, and this is on the high-speed pulley. You can kind of see that it's moving there. And this says about 100 RPM at the low range, at the high range, 50 on the low. I think it's actually a bit lower, slower than that, but that's what the speed indicator says. This is pretty slow, but on the low pulley, it's even slower. So that is a plus when you're finishing and stuff like that. So best customer service, yes. Oh, that's another big plus, is they are made here in the USA. Pretty much 99% of it is USA made. I'd have to ask Brent. It might be 100%, but yeah, I think the electronics might be overseas. That is, I think, it for today. Let me just get this back up. Go check out Cindy's demo tomorrow. Sign up now, and we'll see you there. And then her live stream, Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium, and our vendor showcase. Please remember those dates, and you'll be hearing about us, I'm sure, one way or the other. So everybody, take care. Have a great weekend, folks. Stay safe, stay cool if you're in the hot weather. Other than that, thanks for joining. I appreciate it, and we'll get back to hopefully something. Well, my next live stream is the day after I get back from. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be interesting. We'll figure it out, as always. Till then, we'll see you. You all have a good time. Bye-bye.